Alright, welcome everyone. My name is K. Michael Russell. I am a comic book colorist, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this video is another time-lapse, and I've been cranking these out while I'm working on a major tutorial for the channel, which should be out hopefully in the next week or two. So in the meantime, I'll give you guys something to watch here. So this was from the stream. This is actually this first part of the stream from January the 23rd. And I'd actually worked on some of this the previous week also, but this is Danger Girl, Abby, I can't remember the other one's names, but it's drawn by Tim Seeley. This is a commission that he had posted on Twitter, and I just asked him if he would mind if I colored it for Twitch, and he said sure. So, and with this one, I really wanted it to sort of look 90s, so I was trying to kind of channel that kind of coloring from back then, which was pretty, I don't know, it's pretty simple, and it's kind of, it's pretty close to a lot of the coloring that I still do, I think. So, but the first half of this, I'm going to work on the first two characters, and then toward the end, I'll work on that last character. But this is all kind of the way that I used to work more than I do now, which is primarily on one layer. I'm just copying whatever I need to render to a new layer, and then locking the transparent pixels so that I don't have to go outside the lines, and it just saves some time. And you'll notice in the webcam cover on the bottom right, the background ends up changing quite a bit from the kind of purple and orange that it is right now into just basically a pure yellow. I was kind of goofing around off stream after it was over, and I realized that there's not a whole lot of background that you can see anyway, and so simplifying it to basically one solid color I thought worked pretty well. And I could also use that as an excuse to make the those glows that you'll see in the final piece on the flag behind them. And I think it turns out okay. So her suit is almost all black, so there wasn't a whole lot of room to operate here on the colors. Wasn't really much I needed to do, so I just put some highlights on both sides, and her suit went pretty quickly. All of these suits are extremely practical, of course, for fighting crime and killing bad guys, as you can see. Also very 90s. So I'm going in here first with just some shadows, and I'm also explaining in the stream some of the forms and basic shapes. And that is actually what my next big tutorial is going to be on. It's going to be on rendering. So if that's something that you want to learn more about, be sure to stay tuned. Because I've realized, and I'll go over this in this video, but I've realized that there's a lot of basic tutorials on lighting, the things like spheres and cubes and all the fundamentals, which is stuff you really have to know. But at the same time, those things are so far removed from like what I'm coloring now, faces and skin and muscles and arms, and that I think there needs to be kind of an in-between point there somewhere to help people kind of relate to it. Because it's one of the things that, and I'm studying it a lot myself right now, trying to improve and trying to get better, and it's one of the things that I've realized is there really just needs to be something that's in the middle, that's not a, sphere, cube, cylinder tutorial that will kind of give you guys a bridge between that and being able to render more complicated things too. So it's taking some time, but I think that you guys will dig it once it's ready. Because I really haven't seen a tutorial quite like this. I'm not saying it's completely original, but I haven't found one exactly like it. So kind of working backwards toward the fundamentals, but advancing and getting better at the same time. So we'll see how that goes. One of the questions I got during the chat here was about coloring white clothing, like truly white clothing, like her shirt here, and the issues you have with highlight colors and things. And most of the time you can correct it by, first off, not starting with white. Start off with a gray that might be, tinted a little bit with the color of the environment. So like if your environment's primarily blue or green or whatever it is, then just tint the base color of your white clothing a little bit toward that, and then your highlights can actually be white at that point. And I realized her left leg, or her right leg that's on the left side for us, the very end, one of the people on the stream mentioned that I didn't really do much with that back leg, and that's true. It should actually be darker, and so you'll see at the very end I darkened that leg going back there. And her boots are a little bit more reflective, a little bit shinier, so I'll put another little highlight on those. And doing some final touch-ups on these two characters. I was trying to finish them all in one setting, and so you'll see the screen shift a little bit whenever we switch over to that third character. I also realized watching this recording that my alerts from Twitch are really screwed up, and the fonts are not the right size, so I have now fixed that. So the background was really simple. I just threw down a pretty much one simple color, and I did do some color holds in the background that I kind of prepped off stream because it take a while to set up. You can see that I'm actually changing the color of the background now, and that'll help to create some depth and keep all the elements from looking like they're on top of each other, basically. Especially when there's heavy blacks like that. There's heavy blacks in the background and then heavy blacks in the front, and your mind wants to put them on the same plane together because they're the same color. So if you're able to lighten those lines in the background, have a little less contrast back there, then that can help to create some depth and atmosphere for you. So this is day 2 of the stream, and we're working on the third character now. I had someone ask how I was getting the soft edges on the lasso tool. You'll notice here in a second when I'm doing the lighting on her skin, and it's just the feather setting. So if you click on the lasso tool and then set it to 5 pixels or 10 pixels, or you can play around with it, and you can see it coming in there on that shadow too. I didn't use it on her face because I wanted it to a little bit more control, but you'll notice that when I start coloring her skin in a second, the edges of the lasso actually have a soft edge. Once I fill the color in, you can see it pop in there. And all it is just changing the feather on the lasso. And just remember to change it back to 0 when you're done. I have a tool preset. I have presets for 5, 10, 25, and 50 pixel lassos just to save some time. But it makes it really easy to do, soft rendering like that. So I kind of try to mix that up, mix that in there. Next week's stream will be on Tuesday instead of Wednesday because I have a career day to attend. I'm going to corrupt the minds of some some elementary school kids. I can't wait to be a fly on the wall and hear their parents come back complaining that now their kid wants to color for a living. Who knows? Maybe they will. I also learned today that once I get enough, what do they call it on Twitch? Once I become an affiliate there, I can get my own emojis. We're going to make some kind of either magnifying glass or Sherlock Holmes emoji. And that's to notify me that I have forgotten to color something. And I should figure out the clue to what I missed. There was a couple of things in this stream where it's like, oh, you didn't color this explosion and you didn't color this. And like, yeah, it's always nice to have some backup. Now I threw an overlay layer on top of this, and it's a little too strong at first, that red color. It's kind of a medium red. It's not even really that red. But I put it on top of everything, and then used a mask to block it off the characters a little bit more than the background, so they stand out a little bit more, and it should be happening here shortly. Yeah, there it goes. So the red's not affecting them as much as it is the background. And then I realized that the sky is not really the right color for this. And so kind of stumbled across that yellow. Bob Ross style happy accident. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. I do have, if you want to know more about rendering light and shadow and all of that sort of stuff, and I've worked on a video for that that'll be out soon. So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.